guys, it's Chris. It's Kadie. We are back for the Chris and Kadie Show, and we have reached episode number 25. 25, and we are. When does this go out? Like, I should not be doing research. This goes out on the 20th.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it
Right,
is literally 5 days before Christmas when this gets
right
out
before
there.
Christmas.
Yeah,
Christmas.
which means I am a year older when this episode goes out. Yeah, my birthday is this Sunday.
No
Yeah,
way.
and Louise's birthday is the Friday that this comes out. So our birthdays are 5 days
That's so
apart.
cute.
Yep. So I'm on Sunday, then she's on Friday, and then Christmas is on the Sunday after, or 5 days after her birthday. Yeah,
Just a couple of, or yeah, Sagittarius, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I think I'm on the cusp, and she's fully Sagittarius. But like, we also have my son-in-law Dennis. His birthday's on the 4th. We just celebrated that. And then Marco's birthday, that's Seth's boyfriend, is I think on the 9th.
Today?
I think it was today. And then Mandy's birthday is on January 8th, and then my mom's birthday is January 22nd. So it's like all within 6 weeks of each other. It's crazy.
Oh, I
Crazy,
bet.
crazy.
And then Christmas and all that too.
Yeah. So what you been up to? Don't give away too much from your bitch fit, but
I mean, same old shit. I
yeah,
mean,
just trying to survive, right?
yeah.
Got some bad news today. Literally an hour or two ago, I've been denied for disability. Wah wah. So I'm gonna try to find a lawyer to take the case. So hopefully that happens. I have a couple of names that we're gonna try to reach out to. Probably tomorrow, I'll start calling.
Is it because of
I
the weight
I
thing?
think so. I think so. Yep. So I got to tell you the two things just real quick, guys. The first thing is I got a note for you're supposed to have a physical, um, like a physical thing where where they look at you and all of that. But you're also supposed to have a mental as well. So you're supposed to have like a physical exam and then a mental exam. Well, I got the appointment for the physical all done. Like it was all set up, scheduled, all of that stuff, right? The
Hmm.
mental exam part of it, I got the letter in the mail literally 6 days after the deadline to send them the letter, the form from the letter to confirm the appointment. So, like, the appointment, like, I had to confirm it, I think, on like November 11th, and I didn't get the paperwork until the 18th or the 17th or something like that. So I called them and I was like, how the hell am I supposed to reach your deadline if I don't get the mail until 6 days after the deadline? Like, how am I supposed to do that? And she
Hmm.
said, "Oh, that's no big deal. Just fill out the form and send it in anyway, and we'll set you up with an appointment, like a telehealth mental appointment." I never got a
Hmm.
telehealth mental appointment. Never happened. All I did was the physical thing where everything, like I said, the scale was all messed up, and that's the only information they made my determination from was that one doctor's appointment. So yeah, the system's a little screwy, but I'm gonna fight it. I'll
Yeah.
appeal. I have 60 days to appeal, so there's that.
Good.
But it is the holiday season. We do. I didn't. I know that we did like a top 5 Christmas songs last week or 2 weeks ago, and we also did the 39 off the wall Christmas ideas.
Hmm.
And there's not really going to be much to this episode about Christmas because I feel like probably by the time this episode gets out on the 20th, everybody's going to be all Christmased out and ready for that shit to just move on, right? So we're moving on from Christmas early, y'all. That's what this means.
Yeah.
And so we're going to start our top 5 this week, and our top 5 has some rules to it. In fact, both of us were working on this top 5 literally like minutes before we went live tonight. And that's the other reminder, guys, if you are watching this in the future on December 20th or beyond, we are live on Twitch every other Monday with this show. So you guys make sure you check us out there on the Boston Chris Show Twitch channel, because Kadie doesn't have a Twitch channel yet. We need to work on that, and then we can collaborate and go live on both of our channels if you have one. Just so you know, we can do that.
That'd be a good idea.
We could. So anyway, our top 5 this week is our top 5 Nepo baby music artists. And so this is typically Nepo baby means a child that comes from money, essentially.
Yes.
But we are being a little more specific in that basically this definition is the people on our list have to be second generation musicians or artists, meaning that their parent, as long as their parent has some kind of role in music, then they would count as a Nepo baby in our universe. And so we're not doing this based on success or anything like that. We're doing this completely on our own opinions and our own favorites, okay? And Kadie went first last week, so golly, that means I got to go first this week. And that's a struggle because I have a lot of honorable mentions. And I am going to talk about my honorable mentions real quick without going too far into them. I got Lisa Marie Presley on my honorable mention. I got Willow Smith, Lola Lennox, Annie Lennox's daughter. Zoe Kravitz is on my honorable mention. And really the honorable mention I really wanted to talk about was Lulu Simon, because she is really new, and that is Paul Simon and Edie Brickell's daughter. So she's not only second generation, but both of her parents are artists. But she did not make my top 5 either. And now I'm worried because Kadie just thought of somebody. I can literally smell the smoke.
You said it the right way for me to Google it finally. Second generation artist.
Yeah.
And I just found a whole list.
She's changing her answers. Anyway, my number 5 is Paris Jackson, who is, of course, Michael Jackson's daughter. And I feel like there's a lot of folks out there that don't even know that she's an artist. She's a songwriter. She's fabulous. Has a record out that came out in 2020 during the pandemic. And I hope you guys will all check her out. And the reason why she's above Lulu is because I just learned about Lulu. So, and I've known about Paris for a little while. All right, Kadie, what is your number 5?
Okay. My number 5 is Zoe Kravitz. Just because, first of all, even if I'm not crazy about her music, I love that woman. Mm-hmm. She is just like, she is a woman. That's all I got to say on that.
I love Zoe, too. She was tough for me to kind of leave off, but you guys will see why. My number 4 is Lucas Nelson, who is just Willie Nelson's son, obviously, and just a fabulous singer-songwriter. And I always kind of make fun of him and meme him a little bit because he sounds so much like his dad. You know, like his voice is nasally, just like Willie's, and all of that stuff. But man, I love his style, and his songwriting is so good. You can tell he's Willie's son. What's your number 4?
Okay, I'm going to say my number 4 is Shooter Jennings, which that's one I don't think you thought about. Maybe you did. But anyway, I love Shooter. Just cool dude.
Okay, the only problem with Shooter Jennings is, let me think. Is he Waylon's son or grandson?
Son. Shooter was,
See, I thought he was grandson. I guess I was mistaken.
No, he's... Who died? What's his name?
Terry.
Yes, that's his brother.
Okay. I think you're right. Yeah, I think Shooter was the youngest, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I see. The reason why Shooter didn't make my list is because I thought he was Way's. I thought he was Way's brother. No, that wouldn't make sense because Terry wasn't Shooter's dad. Duh. Okay, that's a good number 4. That's a good number 4. I don't think he would have made my list though. To be honest, I'm not a huge Shooter Jennings fan. So, in fact,
I think he's pretty cool.
Isn't there a Struggle Jennings too? I think that's a grandson though. I think that's a grandson. All right, my number 3 is Enrique Iglesias. Of course, his dad was Julio Iglesias. Julio was probably the world's greatest, or not greatest, but most successful artist at one point, or most popular artist at least.
Mhm.
And Enrique did well as an artist in his own right. What's your
Mhm.
number 3?
So this one, and it's valid. You can Google it. It's another one I found on the list, and it's actually an artist I absolutely love, and that would be Nora Jones.
Yes.
So her dad. Okay, so we're there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
I thought I was gonna have to explain myself.
No, her dad was an Indian musician.
Composer,
If I remember correctly. Yeah.
and he played the sitar.
Yes. Yeah, he was a sitar player. Yeah, I considered her as well. But I didn't think people would know who her dad was.
I don't care.
My number 2, I struggled with number 1 and 2 because I actually I have really warmed up to who my number 2 is, but I had a really hard time putting her over the number 1 just because the number 1 is just super, super talented and probably the greatest singer of all time. So it was hard for me to choose number 2 over number 1. I got Miley Cyrus at number 2, and like I said, this was a real tough one for me. Once you guys see who my number 1 is, who do you have at number 2, Katie?
Well, I just realized that there's a similar theme. So, okay. Okay, so Whitney Houston is my number 2.
Okay, so you have
Uh,
you have the opposite of my 1 and 2. I'm assuming. Yeah.
yeah. So, and Whitney, I was never Whitney is just badass.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't not love Whitney. Whitney was like a pioneer, you know. Like you can't not respect and love her, and I think she definitely made the most waves.
Mm-hmm.
Not most, but quite a few to be up on this list. Even though I'm not like the biggest fan.
Yeah. I think this is
I just don't like go around listening
guys.
to
I
her
think this
music.
might be generational. I think our 1 and 2 are correct, but I think the reason why my number 1 is number 1 and your number 2 is number 2 is because of the generation difference, generation gap. I think if you were my age, you would not put Miley above Whitney just because you would feel dirty. Trust
Yeah.
me, I would feel dirty
No,
by
I
doing that.
understand it,
Yeah. But yeah,
but I grew
I
up with
have Whitney
Miley.
at number 1. Clearly, Katie has Miley at number 1. So we're flip flopped here, which is cool. I think that's cool that we were really close on who we picked for 1 and 2 because I think they are the 2 that everybody would choose at this point.
Yeah.
Um,
Miley, I was a Hannah Montana kid.
right.
I don't know what to tell you.
And that's what I meant
But
by I started warming up to Miley recently. You know, once
and man, Miley, that woman.
she has a documentary or like a I don't want to call it a documentary. It's almost like an acoustic
Yes.
show. I want to say it's
Yes.
on Disney. I don't think it is though. No, maybe it's Apple TV.
There's clips like performances from it that you can find on YouTube and
Yeah,
they're really good.
I saw that. I think that was the reason why I got Apple TV the very first time, and it just made me feel differently about Miley just watching that show.
I'm gonna say something controversial.
Uh oh.
I don't really like the Eagles. Um and just because and say what you want, amazing harmonies, great band, all together great. But, you know, I'm a musician. This person could have done so much better, but because they sound like the Eagle kind of crap, whatever. But she did shit. Um what's the name of that song? The only song I like. Take It to the Limit.
The Eagles.
She did. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Eagles. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
think.
was like, wait, am I delusional? Yeah, she
Yeah,
did. I think she did Take It.
you're talking about Miley, right?
Yeah,
I just thought of somebody else that could have made our list. Jacob Dylan from the Wallflowers.
I saw that. I wasn't
Yeah.
crazy. But yeah, her doing Take It to the Limit.
Okay.
It's not from that. It came out in 2020, but I love it. I love that.
But those are our top 5 second generation, aka Nepo baby musician artists. Who are some of y'all's favorites out there? Because I know some people are probably going to scream Taylor Swift here because her dad was a record executive. That's not going to count in my book. But if it did, Taylor would be obviously much higher on this list for sure.
Yeah.
But guys, we're going to get ready for Katie's bitch fit here.
It's me.
All right, you're all set.
All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, we're gonna start out with these shitty jokes. Um, what do you call, or what do you call? I've had a long day. What do you call a half-assed assassination? Assassination. Okay. People used to call me ugly until they saw my bank account. Now they'd call me poor and ugly. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. Okay. Okay, that one's not good. We're moving on from that. Okay. My bitch fit. I have had a lot going on. I cannot keep up with the days. Christmas is coming. My bank account is going down. um, I am going to be off for 3 weeks from the factory. No shows. 2 weeks from the music school. So yeah, that's gonna be nice. Monday, I am so excited. So excited. We'll talk about past stuff. I want to talk about things I'm excited about. And not pissed off about today. Um, but Monday, next Monday, so a week from today, the 16th, the factory is doing their Christmas party. And the Boston, you'll get such a kick out of this shit. Um, the theme is disco cowboy. And first of all, the factory has like 1 million employees. There's probably gonna be like 50 people there, 50 to 100 if I had to guess, like full on employees.
No,
And then
no
12
packing peanuts, right?
God no. Um, sorry, that was aggressive. Um, but the theme is disco cowboy, and I found out that they do prizes for costumes. They do a costume contest. Last year, you know what the number one prize was? A 70-inch TV. So guess who's putting on boats and a boats? Yeah, let me get in a fucking boat. Guess who's putting on boots and putting on a leather jacket with fringe, a brown one, like old school pimpin' jacket. That would be me. That'd be me. I've not my okay, to tell you how long it's been since I've worn cowboy boots. I had to go to my mother's to get them. I moved out when I was 17. It was 4 years ago. Um, so yeah.
She used to have boot sponsorships. Just so we're clear, just so we just throwing that out there.
Yeah. So okay, so what I'm wearing, it doesn't really make a difference. That's the funny part. But then I'm wearing I have this like holographic, like tube top and a skirt. I'm gonna wear that in my jacket, my cowboy boots that match my
So you should be
jacket. They're
like
brown.
disco from the waist up and country from the waist down. That shit would be
I want to
hilarious.
get look. My entire life, this hasn't just been recently. Since I was a kid, I hated cowboy hats. Hate them. Despise them. Will not wear one. But
For a 70-inch TV, by God.
I saw rhinestone cowboy hats on Amazon.
Oh shit.
That would bring disco. And I'm gonna put like glitter everywhere and shit.
So
Do like
you have to do
lace
one of two
makeup.
things here, though, right? You have to either wear bell bottoms with cowboy boots or skinny jeans with platform shoes. One of the two,
No,
right?
I have like that holographic skirt that matches the
Ah,
top.
yeah, but
Like
that's
whole
not
outfit.
funny, though, right? Like,
I don't want to look like a rape. I can't say that anymore.
you said it last time. What's the
I
difference?
know, but I'm trying to catch myself. I've been saying it since it was cool in like 2010.
When she was 7. Oh my
Not
god.
wrong. Anyway, and Jackson, he's my plus one. So,
Oh
I
god.
told him, I said, look, mofo, You gotta dress up.
He just has to dress up like the fireman from YMCA, right?
This dude, he so was not getting it. Poor guy. I don't know if it was because he wasn't listening to me or if he's just dumb. But he started looking at BG shirts. I said, "He's gonna wear like a BG's t-shirt." I said,
Oh my gosh.
"He has
That's
okay
probably what
for
I would do, to be fair.
no." He don't know it yet. I told him, but he don't know I'm forcing him. Um, he has this shirt. So our friend, he's hilarious, and he like, you've probably seen him, but he had like like these three shirts, and they're silk, and this one is orange and it's silk and has like a leopard print on it. I would make Jackson wear it,
Oh my
and then
god.
some cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
Make him wear the skinny jeans and the platform shoes.
Oh, I didn't even. Ooh, he got boots. He'll deal. He'd rather be more in the countryside anyway.
Well, then make him wear the
But
bell bottoms with the cowboy boots.
imagine if I bought him Bill.
Well, you gotta do both, right? Disco and country.
Disco, yeah. So look, oh my God, you just reminded me. He so did not get it. I said disco cowboy, and the outfit that I'm wearing, like the holographic one, I wore one year for Halloween. That was like an alien, and I wore like the holographic thing, and I
Mm-hmm.
had like, anyway, I don't know why, but then he started. He went on Amazon, and he found an alien mask. He said, "I'm gonna wear this. It matches the theme." I'm like, and it's full on like Halloween mask that you pull over your head. It's silicone. It's like a bug, and it's got. I'm like,
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
what? I was so confused. I was like, why? He said space. I said, it's not space. It's disco.
Disco, dude. Oh my gosh. Are you done with your bitch
Poor
fit this
guy.
week?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get into our game of the week, and it is Katie's turn this week. We're not playing what the heck this week. We're actually gonna spin the wheel like we used to do. So we have 5 different games on this wheel. I'm gonna spin them. Katie's gonna play whatever comes up, and then we're gonna pick a topic. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'm spinning right now. Nobody can see this. That's okay. Everybody trusts me. All right, so
I don't necessarily know if I do.
this is called Think About It.
Oh shit.
Think About It means that a topic will be given and we must turn it into a conspiracy theory. So essentially, Katie's going to turn it into a conspiracy theory, and then I will help her do so. And the topic we're going to use is. It's spinning. Oh boy. Cheerios.
Can you? I can't use this because it's way too much for a
Oh
whole segment. But
goodness.
can you tell me why I thought about what the holes are used for
Oh my god. I
in the
don't know.
chair?
I'm worried about this one though. I'm going to keep it real.
Hold on. Okay. I hope you know every time we play a game or I play a game, I write down the topic
I
because I
know.
get so like
I know.
out in left field. I'm
Just
like,
remember, you have to start this off with the words "think about it." Okay.
Hold on. I don't know. This is just Sprite. It's not liquor.
Yeah. Uh huh.
No, I'm kidding.
I don't think so. I don't. I don't believe that at all. That sounds like a
I thought
conspiracy
about
theory.
it, but I decided not. Man,
I think that might be ground up Cheerios, fermented
what
with
was the?
nine-day
Oh,
old
that was Rice
alcohol.
Krispies. How much sawdust can you put in a Rice Krispie? That made me think about that.
Oh yeah, that was funny. All right, what do you got?
Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cheerios were made by the gays and transgenders.
No.
Only to put the ideas of holes in our children's brains.
Not the holes. How dare they? Why would they do it that way? Why would they not use a bigger hole? Why such small holes?
To warm them up.
To warm who up? The children?
Yes, they're doing it. They're grooming our children with Cheerios.
Okay, now that's not what you said, though. You said they're grooming our children with the holes from Cheerios. And so the Cheerio itself is not the hole. That is the negative space between the Cheerio.
So the Cheerio in itself is the evil. But it's the hole that makes you...
So here's the real question.
Okay.
Because this seems like a connection we could make as Americans here, right?
Mm-hmm.
In other countries, when people say Cheerio, that means they're saying goodbye. It seems kind of demonic, don't you think?
The gays and the Easterners.
The Easterners? What the fuck is an Easterner? Oh my God! I don't even know what that is.
All them motherfuckers out east.
Those goddamn Easterners. How dare you go after the kids? Stay to the east, buddy.
And you know where the gays and transgenders thrive?
The East? Europe!
In Europe! In the East.
Okay, so Europe is East and West. So you're talking East Europe or...
When you look at the freaking map.
Okay, so what you're saying is Europe is east of
Earthers.
us. Wait, the Earth is flat too?
Yeah.
So here's the real question. There are bees out there. Right?
Yes.
All they do, listen, all they do is they make food, they have sex, and then they die. That's what bees do. It's a honey nut Cheerio.
And you know what? That's where the holes come from.
Oh, it's from the bees, so it's not even the Easterners.
So the gays and the transgenders out in Europe, they decided that they were going to come together and get the bees.
Kadie, are you sure you're not mistaking transgenders with Transylvanians?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I just want to make
sure. We have to target them.
All right, that's okay. Well, I mean, because Transylvania is to the east, and those people could be Easterners. Some folks, like the people that are west of them, would think they're Easterners, right? Although, to be fair, the people that are east of them are going to think they're Westerners. That doesn't make much sense.
The more you say that, the stupider I
And that's why I keep drawing attention to it, Kadie, because it was pretty damn funny when you said that. Easterners.
The Easterners.
They're after the kids. All right.
And the gays and transgenders out in Europe.
The Transylvanians,
to get after the kids.
Golly. All right, guys, we're going to get into our topics tonight. We do have 4 topics prepared. At least two of these are going to be pretty comprehensive, I think. The main event topic, obviously, is always kind of lengthy. Usually it goes at least 45 minutes. And I think topic number 3 could essentially do that as well. If you want, Kadie, I will take number 2 if you take number 1, and then we can both do number 3 and 4. How's that sound?
Sure.
Well, I figure I'll take 2 since you're not even on TikTok, so.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. I was trying to figure out which article I should check out. Okay. The original Jersey boy, Frankie Valli, announces last Encore's tour. All right. The acclaimed band has decided to perform a limited number of shows moving forward and are forward to sharing the last encores to all of their devoted fans, from the young to the young at heart. For over 60 years, Valli has captured the hearts and souls of fans worldwide with unforgettable hits such as Sherry, Walk Like a Man, and Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. This tour promises to be a poignant celebration of Valli's legendary career, showcasing his timeless music and incredible showmanship. Um, the tour kicked off in Morristown, New Jersey, at the Mayo Performing Arts Center on October 13th, which is where New Jersey is where they're from, where it all began.
This is an
The
old
price
article. I don't know why this one got picked up. This is
I know why. I know why you did it this way. Because of what the next article is.
yeah, I know, but
assume.
they just announced new tours. So let me look that up real fast because I didn't realize that we were going off of this old one. Do you know who Frankie Valli is, Katie?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the only reason I was able to pronounce his name. I probably would have said like Volley or some stupid shit.
All right. So basically, what they did, just real quick,
Do you want me to touch on the other?
Yeah, I got this. So basically, what they did is they had the original article, which she was just reading, came out in October of 23, which is literally over a year ago, and so the current those shows that they announced then ran through November of this year, 24.
Yeah.
What they have done now is they have added additional shows that will run from August of 24, which is obviously already passed, through April 11th of 2025. So now April 11th, as of now, would be his last show, essentially.
Yes. So now into the next one. Good segue.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
So this article is from August 13th, 2024. And remember, it was going to be, this was like the start of the
memeing.
Second.
So, are you aware of the things that have been happening, like the lip syncing and the way he looks on stage? You've seen those videos?
Kinda.
So it's kind of robotic. He's very robotic on stage. I mean, the guy is 91 years old. He's literally just standing on stage with the microphone kind of towards his mouth while his backing tracks are playing. And he's literally lip syncing. I mean, you're not getting a live show from this guy. You're getting a 91-year-old who is standing on stage lip syncing to his own songs.
Yeah. It says the fans are expressing concerns. He appeared weak and struggled just to lip sing at on the 3rd of August. And Valli exclusively tells the Post that he is just fine. The video of the legendary singer's difficult to watch performance, and this was in August, has been viewed more than 4.1 million times. It was the August 3rd show at the Mountain Winery in San Jose suburb of Saratoga. The video shows the singer looking frail as he fights to climb a short flight of stairs to the stage and grips a handrail as he does.
Yeah, and you guys can find these videos pretty much everywhere. They're pretty sad, and really what saddens me is a couple of things, and part of the reason why we have two different topics that are going to be dealing with public reactions, right, and perhaps not the right reactions, depending on your perspective on that. But I think that's really what our topics are pointing out this week. There is a theme to them, is what I'm trying to say. And this one is, I am disgusted is too strong a word. I am definitely disappointed that Frankie Valli is probably more famous in 2024 than he has ever been in his entire life, and that's sad because. Like, the man was a phenomenal singer back in the day. One of the most iconic voices ever. I mean, honest to God. If you know anything about Dirty Dancing, then you know Frankie Valli's voice, The Four Seasons.
Or Grease.
Or Grease, that's right. Yeah, good point. I hadn't thought of Greece. That's a really, really good point. So he's become a meme. And I
Mhm.
mean, essentially, the newer generations are turning him into a joke. And that sucks, man. Like, I get it. Everything is a meme nowadays. Like, I get it. But then on the other side, like, I feel like the people in his court, whoever his management is clearly trying to captivate or whatever the word is on that newfound fame.
Capitalize.
Capitalize, thank you, yeah. They're trying to capitalize on that newfound fame by adding another 6 months of dates for a 90-year-old. And that's unfortunate as well. What say you, Katie? What do you think of the reaction to this stuff?
Okay, being a young person, I understand. But, and I may or may not have fed in, but it's a sad situation. And even though you can maybe poke fun at it a little bit, at the end of the day, when you watch it, that's sad.
Yeah.
Like, just like they made jokes, they make jokes about all kinds of effed up shit. Like the submarine, 9/11,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of stuff that they make jokes about. Like, I get
And
it.
our third topic
But,
today, which is going to play into that too. Like, we'll be talking about that here in a little while with the United Healthcare CEO. So
and, I have a really dark sense of humor as well. We
same.
visited that one time and never have again. Um,
Oh no, we've visited it multiple times. Believe me, I hear about it.
just not in my bitch fit.
I mean, how many times were we doing the celebrity deaths of the week where we were using dark humor, right? I mean, there is a place for dark humor. But it's weird as somebody who's a little bit older to laugh at something while also feeling emotional
Yeah.
and sad about something,
It is sad. Like, literally, like, there's pictures, like screenshots of the video on here, and just like he can't even hold the microphone.
Mm, I know.
And I mean, there's a good suspicion on my end that he doesn't even want to do this shit.
Well, he's a performer, always has been, so this is his life. This is the way he can make money. And obviously, we
But,
don't know his financial situation, which I'm sure could be part of this. Damn sure could be part of this. And they're
well, and
making
I
money.
hate to say this, he's 91.
Yeah, I know. Uh,
Like,
it's been
the,
46 years since his last hit, which was
well, and
which was
here's the
Grease.
thing. I don't understand what could have happened within even the last 10 years that all of a sudden he's like, I need to do a tour when I'm 90
Right.
or 91. Like, he could have done that when he was 80, 81. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's
Like,
cool that there's still enough of a market for it. There's enough folks out there,
absolutely.
you know.
But for the amount of shows, the amount, like, that would be taxing on, like, a
Yeah.
regular
And I mean, the
artist to
fact of the
tour.
matter is, if you go to one of these shows, you're going just to see Frankie Valli before he dies. I mean, that's why you're going. Because we can all listen to the same music you're going to hear at that concert on YouTube at home. Right? So,
That's
like,
the reason I chose to see Ozzy Osbourne over Marilyn Manson.
yeah,
They were playing
because
a week apart.
yeah, see, and that's the thing. That's the nostalgic reason, right? Like, just to go to say you went, but like you're not getting anything musically out of it. How do you feel about artists capitalizing on fame even though they're not artistically able to perform at a level that they're known for? Because this happens all the time, right?
I have mixed feelings because it depends on what the downfall is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is age,
Right.
and that's sad. And there's gotta be. I know this man did not just up and be like, I'm gonna tour for like almost a whole year.
Right. It's been over a year now. By the time this is over, it'll be like
Yeah.
14 or 15 months or 16 months. That's crazy,
There,
man.
maybe he thought about doing a tiny one, but like this wasn't just him.
Right.
No way in hell, for one. So that changes the situation anyway. But if you go back to the root of that question and ask me that, I take it a different way. And we all know my thoughts on such things.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's another country music country music um, example of this, and that's Brian White. Um, Brian White is a fabulous vocalist, but he lost his vocal ability. I think it was a health related issue. And he still tours, he's still out there, and he sounds awful. But he's out there, and people love him, and he's trying, and it's not his fault. He's still doing his
I
own
mean,
songs that he wrote and stuff like that. But
if people love him that much, I mean, as long as you're not hiding something,
yeah,
like trying to mask something, trying, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
just hate to see people that I like be immortalized with memeing and trolling and toxic behavior. And it's like you said,
absolutely.
man, I find myself falling for the laughter as well. Like, you know, some of that shit is indeed funny, and then you feel so bad about it after when you do laugh about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man,
And
what?
there's certain things that we are like conditioned to,
Right.
like that.
Yep.
Like everybody makes 9/11 jokes now, like stuff like that.
Yep.
But this, I don't know, this feels more like personal,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
It does,
or
and
personable.
it sucks, man.
One of the
I
two.
just hope that I hope he's happy. And at the end of the day, honestly, that's all that matters to me. So far,
Yep.
I have not seen any interviews of him specifically giving a press release. All of the press releases coming from that camp is coming through a publicist and PR statements and shit like that. And we don't know if that's actually him saying that, right? I mean, we don't know how
That's what
lucid
I
he
always
actually
think
is.
about.
Right, me too.
That's what I always think about is like, I don't know, not is he being made to do this, but is he being talked into and pushed into
Right.
doing
We
this?
talked about that recently with Richard Simmons, too, if you remember. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, next topic, TikTok is once again obviously still fighting for their lives in the United States, and they are inching closer to a potential ban in the U.S. So, what is next? I'm going to tell you guys everything that's essentially happened up until this point. There is a company from China called ByteDance, I believe is the name of them, that is the owner of TikTok. And there are politicians and other people in the United States who feel like a Chinese-owned social media company in the United States is a national security threat, and it is a threat to our security as a nation, national security, essentially. But basically, they have been almost banned in the United States a couple of times, and they have met requirements to keep going. But now the latest requirement is that ByteDance must sell TikTok to an American company or they will be banned in this country. Now, they had already met one requirement where they could sell a portion of TikTok to the United States and the servers would be in the United States and all of that. And they met those requirements, supposedly. And supposedly no information from the collecting of information through TikTok is sent outside the country. I find all of that to be incredibly insightful, considering considering the latest news, which I'm going to read now. TikTok's future in the U.S. appeared uncertain on Friday. This is literally 3 days old. After a federal appeals court rejected a legal challenge to a law that requires the social media platform to cut ties with its China-based parent company or be banned by mid-January. And the ban date is January 19th, which I also find interesting because that's the day before our new president takes office, who apparently and allegedly is against this ban, by the way. A panel of 3 judges on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit ruled unanimously that the law withstood constitutional scrutiny, rebuffing arguments from the two companies that the statute violated their rights and the rights of TikTok users in the U.S. The government has said that it wants ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, to divest its stakes. But if it doesn't and the platform goes away, it would have a seismic impact on the lives of content creators who rely on the platform for income, as well as users who use it for entertainment and connection. Here are some details on the ruling and what could happen next. So what does the ruling say? Now, in their lawsuit, TikTok and ByteDance, which is also a plaintiff in this case, has challenged the law on various fronts, arguing in part that the statute ran afoul of the First Amendment and was an unconstitutional bill of attainder that unfairly targeted the two companies. But the court sided with attorneys for the Justice Department, who said that the government was attempting to address national security concerns, and the way in which it chose to do so did not violate the Constitution. The Justice Department has argued in court that TikTok poses a national security risk due to its connections to China. Officials say that Chinese authorities can compel ByteDance to hand over information on TikTok's U.S. patrons or use the platform to spread or suppress information. However, the U.S. hasn't publicly provided examples of that actually happening. Okay? The appeals court ruling, written by Judge Douglas Ginsburg, said the law was, quote, carefully crafted to deal only with control by a foreign adversary, unquote. The judges also rejected the claim that the statute was an unlawful bill of attainder or a taking of property in violation of the Fifth Amendment. Furthermore, Ginsburg wrote the law did not violate the First Amendment because the government is not looking to suppress content or require a certain mix of content on TikTok, which I say is bullshit. If you are taking away an app that is supposed to be free use, you are absolutely suppressing content. That's what you are doing. You're suppressing content.
My bangs got shit.
Basically, this is a battle between free speech and national security risk. Which is
sorry, I'm being Justin Bieber. Did you see me whipping my hair around?
I did. So what do you think? Okay, first of all, do you think this is a national security risk, TikTok?
I get the thought. And I don't have TikTok for certain reasons.
Right.
First of all, I know it would rule my life. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I don't. Algorithms kind of weird me out anyway. And TikTok, I know, is like harped in on that shit. And like, I don't know. I like to see, like, I like going on YouTube as a guest. Yes. And just seeing shit.
Right.
You know, I don't want everything to be like, this is what you like. Right. And I can do that, you know, on like Instagram and Facebook and shit. Where TikTok, I feel like I don't know.
Here's my deal, right? Facebook or Meta, whichever way you want to say it, Meta. Let's say Meta. Meta was proven to have sold our information to people, to other people. They were selling our information to other people, and they were fined hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Mm-hmm. Because the U.S. government proved that Meta was selling our information to other people. Mm-hmm. My issue with this is it says right here in their own argument that they do not have proof that anything is being sold back to the parent company, which is ByteDance. Like nothing is being sent over there. There is no proof of any kind of violation of the Constitution. But here's my other issue. I don't think freedom of speech covers your ability to use any app whatsoever. Nope. Like, for example, I see so many people talk about, you know, Facebook and Twitter and other places, Instagram, trying to suppress freedom of speech by, you know, fact checking and suppressing content and, you know, hiding posts, shit like that. And that's not in my opinion, it is not a violation of freedom of speech because everybody signs the terms of service when they go on that app. Yeah, you're essentially signing away your freedom of speech by agreeing to those terms of service. And I feel the same way about TikTok. So, like, the defendants in this case who are arguing that the ban to TikTok is too much, I don't think freedom of speech is enough for that. I just don't. Yeah. Because I don't think people are free from, you know, I don't think freedom of speech applies to an online app with a terms of service agreement.
I will say, because you mentioned January 19th, I mean, we'll see, but I will say Trump is saying that all this, like he's gonna want to keep TikTok
Mm-hmm.
because he is big about freedom of speech. And I did see something where he was like saying they're gonna make it to where they don't fact check anything unless like it's like reported or some shit like that, to where it won't be like hidden from your feeds and stuff.
Right.
Which I like that, but
We have a
and I
comment
don't think
from
just because.
Twitch. The senator of Kentucky, Rand Paul, who is on the board of national security, who fights for freedom of speech and less government intervention, claims that TikTok will not and never be banned. Too many people use it and even earn money from it. The problem with that is our legislative branch and our executive branch do not have any say in this, Josh, whatsoever. This is all in judicial now, right? So I don't care how many boards a senator or a representative sits on. It doesn't matter. This is all the U.S. District Court unanimously upheld this ban. And so now at this point in time, let's find out what happens next. And I'll tell you what happens next. TikTok and ByteDance are expected to appeal, obviously, this ruling. And the only place they can appeal this ruling now is to the Supreme Court. But it's unclear at this point in time whether the higher court, will take the case. Now, again, this ban will go into effect on January 19th if one of two things happens. Either A, the Supreme Court can decide not to rule on this case. Actually, there's three things that can happen before the 19th. Number one, the Supreme Court could decide not to rule on this case, in which case the ban would be upheld. Number two, they can decide to uphold the ban, and in which case the ban would be upheld. Or three, they could decide to pause the ban until they decide whether or not they want to take on the case or decide the case or whatever, argue the case. Those are essentially the three things. You will not get a complete decision in the positive from the Supreme Court before the 19th. There's just not enough time for that. They will not come out and overturn the ban in less than 6 weeks. I don't see that happening. But anyway, TikTok indicated in a statement on Friday that the two companies are preparing to take their case to the High Court, saying the Supreme Court has, quote, an established historical record of protecting Americans' right to free speech, unquote. Again, my opinion is TikTok is not free speech. Facebook is not free speech. Twitter is not free speech. Twitch, YouTube, all of that is not free speech because they have a terms of service that you have to sign, which essentially waives your rights as wherever you live. And now you are essentially in a restaurant, right? You're essentially in a place of business. That's just the way it is, in my opinion. Now, will the Supreme Court change that? That's possible, sure. But if they do, then they are opening up a whole lot of precedent when it comes to free speech. Because then that means you are protected no matter where you say something on the internet, essentially. And that has not happened up until now. So that should be really interesting to see if that's what happens. Do you feel like freedom of speech exists on the internet, Kadie?
To an extent. I mean, what you said is completely right. Completely right. There's rules, there's regulations, blah blah blah, on everything. Because I mean, it's like when you go buy a car. I mean, you gotta read all the whole contract, agree to this, agree to that. Like, I mean, that was kind of a shitty analogy, but like, I think to an extent, it's a way for you to get your words out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And I think that's why people feel like it's like freedom of speech. Now, I mean, if Trump gets in office and is like, I don't know what you could do to an extent. Because, like, he's talking about, like, changing everything. Like, Facebook, everything.
I know.
I don't know how you can do that without. I don't know, but it would be definitely interesting to see.
Yeah,
those
the thing
random
is again, I have to reiterate, this is outside the hands and outside the scope of legislative and executive.
Yeah.
So this cannot be fixed by executive order, is what I'm saying. Right now, the appeal is going to the Supreme Court, and so those 9 Supreme Court justices are who get to decide this. But see, the thing is, when you look around the internet, there are certain social media platforms that have a lot less stringent rules when it comes to what people can say on their platform, and it is an absolute shit show. I'm not going to name platforms, but there's a whole lot of misinformation and disinformation out there that is
Yeah.
not being checked. That is complete bullshit, and it's complete. It's a
Yeah.
it's a danger to society, and that's
Like I think it could both be a good thing and a bad
it.
thing, and
Could be,
that's
yeah.
definitely where it would be a
There's a
bad
lot
thing.
riding on this, that for sure. A lot more than just TikTok. A lot more than just TikTok, because this is whatever this ruling is going to be, is going to set the precedent for all of the other platforms out there that say that freedom of speech does not apply to their platform. So, should be interesting. Let's get into our third topic, and this is probably the biggest news in the world right now. And that is the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, and the search for his killer, which obviously has come to a head today. Allegedly, we don't know for sure. Nobody, from what I can tell, nobody is saying for sure that the person they arrested today has been charged with that particular crime. He has been charged with gun crimes, and they're leaking stories to the press that this is the guy. But anyway, after days of searching through security footage, following up on a deluge of tips, and even sending scuba divers to the bottom of a lake, police on Monday, which was today, announced the arrest of a suspect in the killing of United Healthcare's CEO outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel last week. Is this the right one that I should be reading right now? Let me make sure.
Also, while you look for that, I told you already. So I have one of my best friends. He lives in New York,
Right.
and literally same day, he Snapchatted me. He said some like big dude in healthcare just got shot across the street.
Wow. So
Like right after it happened. And then he said, like right after that, he said apparently a building right down the road just burned down too.
wow.
It's like that's great.
So
But yeah.
there's a lot to unpack on this. I'm not going to read the whole story because everybody knows what happened. Essentially, the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was assassinated. There's no other word for this shit. He was straight up freaking assassinated.
Yeah.
Somebody walked up behind him, shot him in the back, and killed him. And we're gonna look at this from a different angle, and this was one I wasn't sure we wanted to talk about because this is a dangerous thing to talk about. But I thought when we decided to go with the first topic that we discussed tonight about Frankie Valli, that this would be a good follow-up to that one because of public reaction. So we're going to focus on the public reaction to this rather than the actual crime itself. And the public reaction is one of two ways. Either you have people who are just absolutely disgusted that a person can be walked up on in the United States of America and just be unalived in the streets of the most populated city in the country, and are absolutely disgusted by that behavior. And then B, you have people out there who are essentially laughing at this and making memes and trolling and saying this guy got what he deserved and making healthcare jokes about it and all of that stuff. So again, we have the weird reactions from the public on that side of things. What do you think, Katie, on this?
Whatever. I don't give a shit how you feel, what you believe, wherever you stand on healthcare. This man was shot and killed. Okay? Like Valli, I mean, at least he's still alive. But like this man was just going about his regular day, just having a great time, and just got shot in the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Not the back of the head, but the back. Same shit.
Yeah.
I don't understand how anyone. Okay, we all realize everybody's gonna make a meme or two, but when you bring it into like, well, that's what he gets, kind of shit, that is fucked up. And I don't think anyone should be making memes about this anyway. It's someone dying. But like I said, everyone makes their 9/11 jokes, whatever
Mm-hmm.
the hell. But I don't
See,
know. That was also
my wife and
a
I were
long, long
talking
time.
about this. Go ahead, Katie. I'm sorry. I don't want to, if you still have
No,
more.
I was just saying that was a long time ago. This is very, very fresh, and it's an individual person that
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's sad. You got to think about like his family and like everybody around him. Like, and that was like what? A week ago? Not even. Was it? I don't know what day it is. It's Monday.
Well, see,
Anyway,
for me, and I've had this discussion with my wife, there's very little empathy for a man that has caused a lot of people um, to suffer, right?
yeah,
And so when you cause a great number of people to suffer, and those people are going to feel like that person is causing them to suffer wrongly, those people are going to feel that that person is a villain in their story, right?
yeah,
But to me, there's a difference and a massive gulf of a divide between empathy and celebration, right? And I
absolutely.
feel like there's a lot of people celebrating the death of this
Yeah.
person, right? Now, for
Hmm.
me, I will never celebrate the death of another human being, whether I like them,
Yep.
dislike them, hate them, whatever. Even if I despise a person, you will never see me celebrating the death of another human. Okay, that's just who I am. However,
I
go
I
ahead.
agree
Go
to an
ahead.
extent.
Yeah, I know, I know.
I was gonna say like I don't know. You throw Dahmer in there. You throw
But see,
that kind
that's
of
the
thing. But
thing. That's the thing, Katie. Like
it's Dahmer.
even those people, right? Dahmer, Charles Manson, Hitler. Like Hitler was the one me and my wife were talking about, right? Those people, I'm so indifferent to them, right? Like they
Yeah.
did nothing to me personally.
Yeah.
So none of those people are villains in my story.
Right.
Like I understand that they are villainous and they are the villain in somebody's story, right? But if they don't affect me, then I can't celebrate that death.
Yeah.
Now, that means I have no empathy for that death. I have no sympathy that that person has died because I am indifferent to their story. I don't give a fuck whether or not Brian Thompson is alive or not. It just doesn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not trying
Hmm.
to be heartless here. I don't know him. I don't know anybody who
Yeah.
does know him. So why does it affect me personally? It doesn't. But that doesn't mean
Hmm.
I'm going to celebrate it, right? And that's what I mean
Hmm.
by the difference between empathy and celebration. And I don't know how anybody could celebrate that death without having a direct connection to the story and that
Yeah.
person being a direct villain in their story. You know what I mean?
And that's the difference because I said Dahmer, he is. That's the only one. Like it's not a huge company, and
Mm-hmm.
he's the CEO. There's like how many people under him that are actually doing shit? He probably ain't doing much, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, I mean,
Probably
again, like every single person below him who's making decisions could absolutely be the villain in somebody's story.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, and sure, if we talked about it earlier today that I was denied for disability. Now, whoever denied me for disability is a villain in my story, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? That sucks for me. Like that person sucks. Like what the fuck you mean? Like but that doesn't mean I
Yeah.
would celebrate them dying, even though they are a villain in my story. So it's hard for me to make that leap between indifference and
Yeah.
celebration, or lack of empathy and celebration. And
I don't understand how anybody could
so that's my
celebrate.
question for you, and that's what I love about having you as a co-host on this show because we line up different generations so well. You're younger, I'm a little bit older, and so we can talk from our different perspectives. How do you
Mhm.
feel as a young person? Because by and large, the memes and the trolling and the toxic behavior in both of these topics tonight, Frankie Valli and now this one, is coming from younger generations for the most part. But you seem to feel the same way that I do about just, celebration is one thing, lack of empathy is another, you know?
I just, man, this is why when first of all, I try not to say my age because usually a lot of people think I'm older.
Right.
Two, if people know my age, I will literally say, I'll be like, I'm 21, but I do not associate with my generation.
Mm-hmm.
I say that all the time, all the time. And like, they're not all bad. It's just the motherfuckers that it's like half and half, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like half and half. Maybe my percentage like 25. Maybe a little more than half and half. But like first of all, they say it's how everybody was raised. Everyone gets their own beliefs, their own morals, whatever the fuck. That has something to go into it. And that morals and beliefs have changed a lot over the years. So I mean maybe that has something to do with it.
I definitely
But
think
I don't
morality is definitely declining for sure. And I think there's a
yeah.
lot of reason for that. I think the pandemic is a major reason for the decline in morality. I think indoctrination is a major reason for the decline in morality. I think just absolute self righteousness, like never thinking outside of your own sphere. Like nobody else
And
matters, kind of stuff. You know.
exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna get at.
Yep.
I remember when I saw like the first video of like these prank TikTokers and shit. Some of them are hilarious. Okay, it's fun to fuck with people a little bit, and if you make them laugh, then that's great. But like, there are people out here just fucking wilding out, breaking the law, like breaking. I saw one. This person was like, "I'm gonna break into this person's house and see how long it takes for them to figure it out," kind of shit. I'm like, "Are you insane?"
I saw a video today, Katie. I don't know. This is so funny that you fucking mentioned this because I literally got so mad today. I saw a video today on TikTok, just doing my scrolling. There was this motherfucker in New York City. He's going around RKOing random people. If you don't know what an RKO is, it's a wrestling move where they come up from behind and they grab you by the neck and they bring you to the ground. This motherfucker has a video of himself on TikTok just randomly RKOing people, blind people, disabled people. Like, this shit is funny to an extent until you start going after, like, blind people and.
It's funny hearing about it, just like hearing Eminem's songs about
Right,
that
but
kind of
what the
shit, right?
fuck is this, bro? Like, oh, here, let
Here's
me
what
tell
I
you
do.
something. Let me tell you something. You come up from behind me, try to RKO my 6'4" obese ass and see what happens to you, bro. I don't care if I'm blind and using fucking 62 crutches. Try it. Like, just fucking try it, bro.
What I try to do, because like you said, this is my generation. I'll watch these stupid ass videos, like, and I'll just sit there. And like a lot of them are like, the phone view. So I'm like, I feel like this is me.
Yeah.
I literally like get so invested in things. I can't, okay, I have to like stay away from certain video games that like horror games. I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I know I would love it so much because I put myself there. Like I am there. Okay. And same thing with these videos. I see this shit and I'm like, how do people get the like audacity to just like do this shit?
Yeah.
I can't walk, I can't be somewhere by myself without feeling like people are staring at me and judging me.
Yeah. But
Like,
people
what?
look at these
How do
videos
you
and they're
do
like, oh,
that?
well, that's not real, right? That's all staged. I'm like, motherfucker,
No, it's
it's
not.
not, dude. It's not staged. This dude was literally going up to random people in the subway and just fucking dropping them to the ground, bro.
And
Like,
Jackson likes watching like these people that'll go into like these not haunted places, but like there was this one video where like these three dudes snuck into Chernobyl.
mm-hmm.
And it's cool watching the videos and seeing all that, but you are
Yeah,
stupid.
that's brilliant. Anyway, back to the original topic with the CEO. This is definitely a symptom of a much higher systemic problem. And a damn problem that doesn't need to
And
exist in an industrialized nation. And that is
this
the
one
fact that.
man,
Go ahead.
this one man is not what y'all are fucking mad about.
Right, exactly. And he's this one man is a minor symptom to the overall problem that we should all fucking have health care in this country. And that's why people think this is funny, and that's why they think this man got what he deserved. Because at the end of the day, we all deserve health care. We all
At the end
deserve
of the
health
day,
care. Some dude in an office in New York City should not be deciding whether or not we get a fucking
at the
surgery.
end of the day, this motherfucker had to go to high school. This motherfucker had to go to college. He had to work his way up to where he got. He's your average damn Joe that just did better. That's what I say about celebrities. I remember somebody asked me during AGT, like, were you nervous to meet them? I'm like, no, they're just successful people.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's just people that were able to succeed at something. Like that's all it is. Like it's
Well,
just stupid.
unfortunately, shooting somebody in the back because that person's a villain in your story is not gonna fix any kind of systemic bullshit that needs to be fixed. No doubt needs to be fixed. We all should
Yeah.
have health care. There shouldn't be Brian Thompsons out there. There should not be
No.
CEOs of fucking healthcare companies. That should not exist. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
And that needs to change, and hopefully it will before we're all dead and buried. Because by God, we're the richest country on the planet, and we're the only industrialized country on the globe that doesn't have universal health care. And that's just bullshit, dude. It's just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. We should not. Nobody should look. I don't know what the percentages is, but a good amount of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. And it just takes one broken bone or one torn cartilage or one stroke or one heart attack, and you're homeless. And that's the end of it.
Yep.
That's just the way it is. There's a person in Sulphur Springs, Texas right now whose grandmother, who was his essentially his world, he's 19 years old. His grandmother just died of a stroke, and this man is literally sleeping out in front of the Sulphur Springs Walmart, completely terrified and freezing. And this is a symptom. This is a symptom of the bullshit that we put up with in this country, and hopefully it changes. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on. Do you have anything else on this one, Katie?
I think I think honestly I said what I need to be saying and said what I don't know, I can't word today. But I think you made a lot of good points too.
I
I
agree.
think I think honestly I'll probably be pretty redundant.
Just to wrap it
Just
up
get
from
on a
my
wild hair.
perspective, look, I don't give a flying fuck if Brian Thompson is dead. I don't. He's not part of my story. Um,
I'm probably not gonna think about it again after we
yeah,
get
I'll
done.
never remember his name. You know. In fact, the fact that Juan Soto signed with the New York Mets yesterday broke my heart more than some CEO
See,
in a
I
fucking
didn't even know his name.
yeah. But
You
yeah,
know.
that had a bigger effect on my life than a CEO in New York City passing away. No matter how he
Yeah.
passed away, um, honestly, like just seeing the reaction is interesting. It's intriguing. Sociology majors out there are gonna be studying this shit forever because golly, the human race is on the wrong fucking path right
Yeah.
now. But
Hmm.
anyway, it is the end of the year. It's December 20th on the recording version of this. And so I thought we would talk about the prominent people and celebrities that have passed away throughout 2024.
Are we
Um,
skipping weird but true?
are we skipping what?
Weird but true.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll get time to do that in the future, just because I'm
Yeah.
trying to keep this under 2 hours. And this one, it just depends on where we're at after the three topics, to be fair. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah,
Noted.
we're going to try to talk about these people in a quick fashion. I'm also going to try to set this up to where you guys out there can see who it is we are talking about. Because a lot of these people, you may not recognize them by name, but you damn sure will recognize them by face. So I'll try to set this up for y'all really quickly. We're going to do. All right, guys. Now that Katie is unmuted, we're going to redo this. This is the celebrity and prominent deaths of 2024. We're going to. I'll do one, she'll do one until we get to the end. This first one from Variety.com. You can go there if you want to see the full obituaries. And this goes up to the beginning of November, and then we will switch to a different website for November and December. So here we go. David Soul, who starred as Sergeant Kenneth Richard Hutch Hutchinson in the TV series Starsky and Hutch, died January 4th, his wife announced on his website. He was 80 years old.
All right. And then we have Glynis Johns. Um
I got you.
English actor Glynis Johns, who played the daffy suffragette Miss what?
She
Mother Miss
messes up
Banks.
mother. I love it.
I said Mrs. Mother. Mother Mrs. Banks and Mary Poppins died January 4th at an assisted living home in Los Angeles. She was 100 years old.
I'm scared.
Also, nobody should be looking at my face this close, but I'm literally like I would be more comfortable comfortable reading it if I was this close,
All right, we're not
but
doing
I'm not
Cindy
going to do that.
Morgan, so that means you're going to have to do the ones that I did earlier, because Cindy Morgan died in 2023. So Bill Hayes, a longtime star of the NBC soap opera Days of Our Lives, died January 12th at the age of 98.
All right, and then we have Alec Musser, yeah, known for All My Children and the 2010 film, comedy film Grown Ups, died January 12th in Del Mar, California. He was 50 years old.
We have Joyce Randolph, who played Trixie Norton on the classic sitcom The Honeymooners, and was actually the last surviving member of that cast. Died January 13th in New York City. She was 99.
All right, then we have Mary Wise in the center. She was the lead singer and focal point of the Shangri-Las, one of the truly, yeah, legendary girl groups of the early 1960s with hits like Leader of the Pack, Great Big Kiss, Remember Walking in the Sand, and Heaven Only Knows, died January
And I
19th.
highly suggest y'all check out Remember Walking in the Sand. It's an amazing song. I love that song. Aerosmith did it, by the way. Norman Jewison, not Jewelson, Oscar-nominated film director and producer Norman Jewison, who steered the 1967 racial drama In the Heat of the Night to a Best Picture Oscar and also helmed such popular films as Moonstruck, The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming, and The Thomas Crown Affair, as well as film musicals Fiddler on the Roof and Jesus Christ Superstar, died January 20th at his Los Angeles residence. He was 97.
Look at his name at the top.
It's Jewison.
I need to see if I can actually see it, because I swear to God.
It's because the
There's
dot is too close to the bottom of the eye.
I swear to God, that's an L. Okay. Melanie, the singer who performed at Woodstock in 1969, had a major pop hits with Brand New Key and Lay Down Candles in the Rain in the early 70s, died January 23rd, God, at the age of 76.
Carl Weathers, who starred as Apollo Creed in the first four Rocky films opposite Sylvester Stallone, died February 1st. He was 76.
Cheetah?
Cheetah Rivera, yep.
Okay. Broadway legend Cheetah Rivera, a two-time Tony winner who received 8 additional nominations, died January 30th. She was 91.
Toby Keith, the country singer who scored the genre's most played song of the 90s with Should Have Been a Cowboy, died on February 5th. He was 62. And you can check out my YouTube channel for a tribute to Toby Keith, by the way.
All right, and then we have Richard Lewis, the stand-up comedian who also stars alongside Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm, died February 28th. He was 76.
Steve Lawrence, a king among easy listening crooners who rocketed to fame in the 50s and 60s as half of the duo Steve and Edie, died March 7th at age 88.
All right, and then we got Eric Carmen. He became an icon of early 70s power pop as the frontman of the Raspberries before achieving solo success with hits like All by Myself and Hungry Eyes over the weekend of March 12th.
And Louis Gossett Jr., who won a supporting actor Oscar for playing the hard as nails drill instructor in 1982's An Officer and a Gentleman, a few years after winning an Emmy for his role as the cunning fiddler in Roots, died March 29th. He was 87. Chance Perdomo.
I appreciate you. Who starred in the television series Gen V and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, died March 30th as a result of a motorcycle accident. He was 27.
Barbara Rush, who, by the way, I loved. She won a Golden Globe for Most Promising Newcomer in It Came from Outer Space and went on to appear in Peyton Place and many other movies and TV shows, died on March 31st. Speaking of villains.
All right, we got OJ Simp, football star, and blah, 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 died April 10th.
Roger Corman, prolific director and producer of hundreds of B-movies, died May 9th. There he is.
I'm such a bitch for that. Dabney Coleman, who starred in 9 to 5 and Boardwalk Empire, died May 16th.
Morgan Spurlock, the Super Size Me director, died May 23rd. Oh, God. I think it's a nuke.
I was gonna say Anouk, I think. Amy? Is
Yeah.
that I?
Yep.
Is that I? French film actress. What?
She got Anouk and Amy and Blue Actress, y'all. Oh, my
Atkins.
God. She died
She died
June
June
18th.
18th.
Donald Sutherland, MASH and Hunger Games star Donald Sutherland, died June 20th.
That one made me sad. Martin Mull, the comic. Okay, this one I have to look up close for. The comic musician and actor who started with 1970s TV series Fernwood Tonight, and went on to appear as Colonel. Why did Mustard confused me? Colonel Mustard in Clue and on Arrested Development, and Roseanne died June 27th.
Robert Towne, who was a writer and director and an Oscar winner for his original script for Chinatown, and an acknowledged master of the art of screenwriting, died on July 1st.
No, I get Shelley Duvall though. That makes me happy and sad. She was so pretty.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shelley Duvall, the big-eyed
Wayfish.
Wayfish.
Yep, yep.
Okay, I couldn't tell if that was an I or L performer who won the, the
I think
Cannies.
it's Ken, like Ken Actress Award. I think.
Okay, for Robert Altman's.
Yep.
I cannot see. Three women and endured Stanley Kubrick's intense directing techniques to star in The Shining. Died of diabetes complications on July 11th.
And played Olive Oil in the first Popeye movie with
Yes.
Robin Williams. Golly, she never makes the damn obituaries. Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who brought frank talk about sex into America's living rooms for the first time as radio and television talk show host Dr. Ruth, died July 12th. And she was the original person that people would make fun of all the time, right? There were so many Dr. Ruth jokes back in the day.
Oh, look who else I got. All right, we got Richard Simmons, the energetic, frizzy haired TV personality and fitness coach who made exercise accessible to millions and then became reclusive in recent years, died July 13th.
Shannon Doherty, I would get her. Known for her roles on the wildly popular series Beverly Hills 90210 and on the witchcraft fantasy Charmed, died July 13th. And so far, the only person on this list that I have met.
Look at you go.
Yeah.
All right, we got Bob Newhart.
Newhart.
Newhart. Okay. I was wrong. The genteel but sharply.
Satirical.
That's how I was gonna say it, but I'm stupid sometimes. Comic whose TV series The Bob Newhart Show and Newhart were huge hits throughout the 1970s and 80s, died July 18th.
And Big Bang Theory, never on his obituary. Like, what?
That's why I know his
Yep.
face. Okay, there you go.
Alain Delon, the French actor most famous for his roles in the films of new wave director Jean-Pierre Melville, especially The Samurai, died August 18th. He was 88, and I'm sure I butchered his name.
I was gonna butcher it. I'm glad you got it. Maggie Smith, a British stage and screen actress. Maggie Smith, the Downtown Abbey and Harry Potter star, who numbers 2 Oscars, 3 Emmys, and countless stage awards to her credit, died September 27th in London. She was 89.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson, oh man, who attained success as both a groundbreaking country music singer-songwriter and a Hollywood film and TV star. Died September 28th at home in Maui, Hawaii. He was 88.
Liam Payne, one of the 5 members of the X Factor Bread Boy band One Direction, died October 16th at the age of 31. The singer died after falling 3 floors from a hotel in Buenos Aires, Argentina. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm. Phil Lesh, the bassist whose dense and inventive playing powered the Grateful Dead And following the 1995 death of guitarist Jerry Garcia, many of the San Francisco band's touring reincarnations died Friday. He was 84.
All right. Terry Garr, the comic actress and singer who brought her buoyant personality to Young Frankenstein and was Oscar nominated for Tootsie, died October 29th in Los Angeles after a long battle with multiple sclerosis. She was 79.
Quincy Jones, who distinguished himself over the course of a 70-year career in music as an artist. 70 years.
Damn.
As an artist, band leader, composer, arranger, and producer, died November 3rd. He was 91. And that is the end of this list. Now we are going to try.
Oh my God.
I'm going to go through
I can
these.
see this one.
So I'm going to go through these very quickly because we're not doing all of these, Kadie. I'm just doing the most notable
Okay.
ones just very quickly. So again, we talked about Quincy Jones. We got Tyka Nelson, American R&B singer from Mark Anthony's Tune, died at 64 on November 4th. Let's see here. Bobby Allison, the auto racer and Winston Cup champion, and I think 3-time Daytona 500 champion, died at 86 on November 9th. American folk singer, songwriter, and ukulele player Ella Jenkins died at age 100 on November 9th. Let's see here.
Bob Breyer, former My Chemical Romance drummer. Sorry.
Did I miss him? Where's he at? Was that in November?
Yeah, November 26th.
Okay, that's further down. Okay. Shel
Oh,
Talmy.
stupid.
Shel Talmy is an American record producer. Died of complications following a stroke. His name actually appeared in one of my podcasts earlier this year. He produced my friends the Waymores, one of their records. Shel Talmy. He was an absolute legend. The 42nd Solicitor General of the United States died of a stroke on November 13th as Theodore Olson. Let's see here. Alice Brock, who was an American restaurateur, artist, and inspiration for Arlo Guthrie's song Alice's Restaurant, died at 83 on November 21st. Chuck Woolery, American TV game show host, passed away on the 23rd. He was also a radio host and country singer. He died of respiratory failure at the age of 83. Helen Gallagher, American Emmy and Tony award-winning singer, dancer, and actress, died at 98 on November 24th. Rico Cardi, who was a Dominican baseball player, died at 85 on November 24th. Earl Holliman, American actor from The Rainmaker, Policewoman, and Cry Panic. He was also a pop singer. An animal rights activist, died at 96. Jim Abrahams, who was the screenwriter and director behind the Airplane, Hot Shots, Top Secret, and Naked Gun franchises, which were all freaking hilarious, by the way, died at age 80. Bob Breyer, you got it, American drummer, November 27th, My Chemical Romance, found dead in his home after not having been seen for several weeks, passed away at 44. Marshall Brickman, American Academy Award-winning screenwriter, along with Woody Hall, and playwright, died at 85. Another soap actor, Wayne Northrup, American actor on Days of Our Lives, Roman Dynasty, and Michael, dies of Alzheimer's disease at 77. Steve Alamo, American pop singer of Mashed Potatoes and Every Day I Have to Cry. He was also a TV host and producer, died at 84 on November 30th. And I don't think there was anybody prominent yet in December. I'm going to look real quick. We'll get a basketball player, Don All, Hal Lindsey, who was an evangelist. Yeah, that was a tough word. Bill Melton was a baseball player. But yeah, December has been light so far. Hopefully it stays that way. But those are the most prominent celebrity deaths of 2024 according to Variety and OnThisDay.com. Is there anybody that we missed out there, you guys? Let me know in the comments section if we have missed anybody. And if we have, I apologize to those people for sure. It was a sad year for celebrities, though. I hope we can make it through a little bit longer. Was Betty White in 2024?
I don't think so.
I think she was 2023, right?
I think. I remember because I used to make a
Wow,
horrible
she's
joke
been
about
gone
her.
since
Like,
21.
I was gonna say, I think it has been a while
Well,
because
I
I
remember it
used
was New
to.
Year's Eve, but I thought it might have been 23. Wow, she's been gone almost 3 years now.
See, I used to make again an awful, awful joke about her, and it really has nothing to do with her. I just needed an old lady's name,
Right.
um,
Well, to be
and I
fair,
had to
she
stop
was a
saying it.
comedic genius, so I'm almost positive she would have been fine with it.
No, she wouldn't have, because it had nothing to do with her poor soul.
Ah, I gotcha. So,
I'll tell you what it is later.
what is on the agenda for Kadie the next couple of weeks before we return Avu to this show?
Well, besides partay on Monday, I have a couple private shows I play. One on Friday and one on Sunday. I'm gonna sleep a lot. I'm gonna go to the chiropractor.
Yeah,
That's gonna happen. I've been going. I need to go again.
it's been a rough week for sleep, and it's going to get worse, I think, for me too. I sleep with a CPAP, and let's see, um, Sunday morning, I usually fall asleep around 4. That's the hope, 4 a.m. about, and then I sleep until about 1:30. That's kind of my sweet spot right now for
Yeah.
sleep. And that's where I like to be, by the way. I really like that spot. I try to keep that as long as I can, but about 7:30 a.m. Sunday morning, the power went out, and I sleep with a CPAP, so that was wide awake during REM
Yeah.
sleep, like just wide awake, and the power was out until almost noon. So
Oof.
for the next 4 hours, I did not get to sleep, and then
Yeah.
as soon as noontime came and the power came back on, it was actually like 11:30. I just rolled right back over, put my mask back on, went right to sleep and slept till 4.
Yeah.
Now this is a problem. Normally I would be like, well, that's no big deal. It's still 4 o'clock. I'm still somewhat in my
Daytime.
the sweet spot that I like to call it. But I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, the first one since October of last year, because we finally found a clinic that is based off of income, and since we have no income, to see this doctor only costs $15.
That's cool.
So I get to see a doctor for the first time in a really long time tomorrow, but it's at 10 a.m. And that's not in my sweet spot. So that means I will likely be awake till 3 or 4 this morning, and then I will only get probably 6 hours or 4 hours, something like that. And then my interview on
Mine,
Thursday is at 2 p.m., which is also not in my sweet spot right now.
my schedule is usually I go to bed at like 2 or 3, and I used to always love getting up at 10 because I don't know why. That's like the first. It's just now the double digits, and it's still morning, so I
Yeah.
feel decent about myself. But man, I can't. I even if I wake up, I stay in bed till noon,
Mm-hmm.
like every day. I just can't,
I think we all
unless
have
I
our
have to do
sweet
something.
spots that we like, that we function the best
Yeah,
at, right? Um, well, I hope you don't
I
see
usually
any
need like
packing
9 or 10
peanuts at
hours of
your
sleep.
party.
If there is, I ain't doing it unless you're
I,
paying me
I ain't
double.
cleaning shit up.
Hey,
Nothing.
and look, if they gonna pay me to do that, there's an open bar Monday,
Mm-hmm.
so
Oh,
I'll probably be like jumping in the peanuts.
nice. Well, this has been episode 25. That's Kadie over there, and this is Chris. This is the Chris and Kadie Show. This show goes out every other Friday, and we are live every other Monday. So if you'd rather be a participant in the live version of this show, like Josh was tonight, and like Cool Me was tonight, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the majority of the show. You guys were awesome. You can do that. We are the Chris and Kadie, or wait a minute, the Boston Chris Show on Twitch. But yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, essentially every other Monday we're on Twitch, and then the opposite week it's every other Friday. If you miss the live version of it, we are on YouTube, or yeah, on YouTube. You can also follow both of us on Facebook, Instagram, all the places. I'm also on TikTok. Kadie is not. So make sure you guys follow me before we all get banned in a couple of weeks. I agree with Josh that I think the outcome there is going to be. I don't think TikTok's going anywhere. I truly don't.
No.
There's just no proof that they're doing the things they say they're doing. But yeah, episode 25. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks with episode 26.